How do you fulfill high ticket orders? This is surprisingly one of the most common questions that I get over email and in comments on my YouTube videos. So I just thought I would put together a quick video addressing that very question. So the question is, when a customer places an order on your high ticket dropshipping store, how do you see to it that that order, that product actually gets to the customer? So the short answer is, most often you are going to have to send the supplier for that product a purchase order. And basically what a purchase order is it's almost like a reverse invoice. So it looks like an invoice, it has like the product on there, it has the purchaser name, which technically is you, but then it'll also have the shipping information, which will be your customer. So that's where the product is being shipped to. Then it'll have the product name, item number, UPC code, all that good stuff. And say hello to my dog in the back there. And so how you actually make a purchase order, there are multiple ways to do it. I used to do it manually using Google Sheets. There's just like this template in Google Sheets for invoices and for purchase orders where basically an order would come in on my Shopify, and then I would just like copy and paste all of the information from the order into the purchase order and then manually email it to the respective supplier. Well, the problem I ran into was the volume got to be too great to where sometimes I would actually accidentally miss an order that came in and not send a purchase order from it. So then it would be like a week or two later to where the customer would be like, hey, where's my order? And I would be like, shit, I didn't send a purchase order in the first place to the supplier for this. So and then I would kind of have to scramble to like try and expedite the order. So that there was that problem. Then I would say the even bigger problem was sometimes, because I'm a human being, just due to human error, I would sometimes copy and paste the wrong information into certain purchase orders to where the wrong product would go to the wrong customer. And that was a massive headache to try and situate once it had happened. But luckily, Shopify has some apps that actually build purchase orders automatically for you. And so once you actually set these up and connect them to your Shopify admin on the back end, once an order comes in, it'll automatically put together an email and PDF of the purchase order and send it to the respective supplier. And then basically once the supplier actually gets the purchase order, if it's like a made to order situation, they'll start, putting your order into production, or they'll queue it up for production depending on lead times. Oftentimes they'll have it in stock. And then as far as how to actually like pay the supplier for these, it's going to completely depend on the company and completely depend on their terms. Some suppliers have what's called net terms, like net 15 or net 30, which means once they invoice you for an order that you've placed, you have 15 or 30 days respectively to pay that invoice. The vast majority of suppliers I've ever worked with would just have my business credit card on hand. And so every time that they would receive an order from me, once it shipped out, they would just charge, the credit card for the amount that I owed for that purchase. And that was extremely lucrative because it built me a massive amount of rewards points over time with my business credit card. A common question I get kind of along these lines is, well, what if this is your first order and you don't have enough like in your bank account, or you don't have like a credit line to pay for the order? Well, the answer is you're going to use the money that came in for the order to pay for the order. And Shopify takes up to a minimum of 2 business days for the funds to actually clear and enter your bank account from the customer. And those are the funds that you will use to pay for the shipment of the product. And so, if it's a situation where a supplier has like same day shipping, or they ship the following business day, but that money hasn't yet hit your bank account, but they won't ship it until you pay for it, that's just a conversation you have to have with them. You're going to be like, hey, I'm a newer business. This is just like how I'm operating right now. Kind of have to wait for this to clear into my bank account. Once it's there, I'll be able to pay you this invoice so we can ship it out. And then over time, as you develop, relationships, business relationships with your suppliers, you build a good history with them, and a lot of credibility. They'll have a lot more flexibility, or they'll be like, "You're good. We'll ship this out, but just make sure you pay this invoice, as soon as you can." Little examples like that. Going back to the purchase order thing, there are rare situations. I've had a couple suppliers over the years like this, where they have like an online portal where you like manually enter an order that comes in. I've never found a way to automate this, like integrate it with my Shopify and automate it. It's manual. It's really annoying. Unfortunately, there are just some companies that have it set up that way, but the vast majority of the time, they're going to have an email address for you where you can like send purchase orders to, and in that case, that's great because then you can automate that from your Shopify with the app is called Auto Purchase Orders. I've used it for years. It's excellent, and it does exactly what I'm talking about. So, I hope that clears up questions about how to fulfill orders. If I left anything untouched, please let me know in the comments. If you're interested in doing high-ticket dropshipping, building a high-ticket dropshipping business, getting into e-commerce, becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe diversifying your entrepreneurial portfolio, I recommend checking out my program. I am building a second version of it. The one that's in the description below was filmed in 2022. The vast majority of the principles still apply, but I'm updating it to include AI and a lot of SEO heavy stuff. So if you buy it now at the current price, you'll be grandfathered into what will be a much more expensive version of the course once I finish with it at the end of January here. On top of that, my supplier acquisition service and my Google Ads service, I will also put the links in the description below. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want me to chat about on here. These videos are just kind of a stream of consciousness about high-ticket dropshipping, and I love talking about it. So it's not really work for me. Just tell me what you want me to talk about, and I'll talk about it. So we'll see you guys next time.